Go ahead.
All right. This is Greg Vincent here with AgWeb. We're just finishing up the Pro Farmer Midwest Crop Tour. Mark Bernand was the Eastern Tour agronomist, and he's also an agronomist here in Minnesota where we finished up. And Mark, not a single number on corn came in above last year's numbers. So I guess, is that accurate, first of all?
I'd say it's very accurate based on what we saw out in our forage across these fields. There were just a lot of issues out there earlier on, and that just manifested itself all year long when that heat came and we ran into some moisture stress.
Now, we saw, particularly in Ohio, a crop still very much in development. Is there still upside potential to that?
I would say there is on the beans, but they did miss the big rains that came through when we were on the tour. So it's going to start dwindling with every given day. The corn side, it looked, like there was some potential there to at least maintain what we found. But without that rain, it's going to do nothing but go down.
It's kind of odd. There really wasn't a lag time in between states. Certainly the crop was more developed as we came west.
Correct.
This week. But overall, is there any upside potential to this crop, or is it all downside, and how much either way would there be?
Well, on the corn crop, I don't see how there can be any upside potential to it. That bean crop, maybe. That was a pretty good looking Iowa bean crop that I saw, at least on the part of the tour that I was on today. But in a lot of the other areas, I'm afraid they're going to run out of time, run out of moisture, and that's going to be the end of it right there.
So it's steady or downhill?
Steady or downhill, I would say, would be the trend I would see.
All right. Now, as guys are looking for plans for 2012, obviously, probably won't see corn go a whole lot lower unless we see significant demand destruction or some unforeseen thing happen right now.
Sure.
What do they need to be thinking about this fall if they're looking at planting more corn next year?
Well, I think first and foremost is that they got to get their fertility in line and get that stuff bought now, because it's not going to be any better in season, and most likely will be worse in season. The other thing, and this goes back, more to what we're going to be doing next spring. Don't be cutting plant populations just because you got kicked in the shorts this year by dry weather. And I think that's going to be something people are going to be tempted to do.
Now, when we were in Illinois yesterday, we were in that field just near Metamora, and we talked to that farmer, and he says he thinks corn acres will actually be down in Illinois because they're afraid of getting burned. I mean, obviously you're not an economist, but
right.
You are an agronomist. So should people be too terribly concerned about that problem potentially for next year?
Well, I think the corn-on-corn thing is probably going to tell the tale, and I'm afraid what's going to happen is corn-on-corn is going to be down in yield, especially versus corn-on-beans, and that's probably going to change a lot of people's minds. They want a little more security. They know that they plant some beans in that mix, they're probably going to have a better corn crop the next year. So we got some other things in the mix, like some disease problems that are showing up. Cossus wilt was one of the ones we talked a lot about tonight, and I think that's going to do nothing but continue to manifest itself if we continue to grow corn on corn like we are right now.
All right, well, Mark, thank you for your expertise this week, and appreciate you taking the time. From the Pro Farmer Midwest Crop Tour, I'm Greg Vincent.